Hello, and welcome to Rolling Out Star Studio. My name is Portia Monique, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with, you guys know her, Emmy Award winning actress, author, director, everything. Victoria Rowell, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Portia. It's great to be with you and rolling out.
Yes, it's such a pleasure to speak with you. Like I mentioned backstage, I was reading your bio and I'm like, goodness, what does this lady not do? Very successful. Your career has spanned years, but you got so many accomplishments, so many awards, so many things that you've done with your life. And it inspires me. And I just get chills talking about it, thinking about it. But welcome to the show. Let's get started with Good Sam. CBS, that's one of your latest projects. Tell us about Good Sam.
So I portray the role of Tina Kingsley. Mm-hmm. And Tina Kingsley is the chairwoman of board of directors, and her family has a charity, and it's very incestuous, meaning her son is involved, the ex-husband is involved with the hospital. I'm not going to give away too many deets on it, right? But she is a very sure-footed, educated, shrewd Black woman, but she loves her son, but there's been some drama in the past. So we're going to draw the audience in on this character. She loves fashion. Oh, don't play with Tina in the fashion.
Yeah.
Right up to the hats.
I love it. I
think the audience is going to enjoy how complex she is and multidimensional she is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. We love a good character that we can ingrain in our brain and have as an icon, so to speak, right? Because like you said, she loves fashion. We know that we're going to be looking at those fashions, trying to make sure that we're getting those fashions too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the jewelry, and she's got the nails. I don't typically wear polish. But don't look at this because this manicure needs to be redone, but her nails are done. And let me just do a shout out to the hair and makeup team, the department heads, Ethleen, and I got to do a shout out to Kristen. I mean, I want for nothing. And Katie and costuming. I mean, it's just fabulous. The character's wonderful on her own steam, but how we get to her without a good team,
Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it. And your character is someone that we can aspire to, right? You said she's shrewd. However, sometimes that gets the job done, right?
Right. I love it. She is an aspirational character. That is a great way to put it, Portia, because she is polished. She's no nonsense. And she's just unintimidated by whatever the circumstances that is before her. She is going to figure it out one way or the other, no matter what. So she's an interesting character.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet her. Good Sam, it airs starting March 2nd on CBS from 10 to 11. Girl, that's past my bedtime, but I'm gonna stay up for you.
I know it's a bit late, but we actually started airing. We premiered in January. Stars Sophia Bush and Jason Isaacs, and many of my scenes are played opposite series regular Edwin Hodge, who plays my son. He's fierce and fabulous. And in any event, my scenes begin, I appear the character that is on March 2nd going forward. So, stay in it. And I think you'll really enjoy it. Give it a shot. Give it a chance.
What's one thing that you love about your character?
Oh, I love that she represents. Now, take this the right way. Absent of my friends, my female business friends, they are shrewd. That's why they're successful. I'm not saying they stepped on anybody to get to where they are, but Tina emulates strong women. Add to that strong Black women. but
Mm,
she is just a strong, polished, educated woman who worked very hard to become the chairwoman that she is. On
mm,
top of that, she's a mother. She is an ex-wife, so she
mhm.
was in the marriage, but she was in business.
Yeah.
And that's a hard balance. We see
Mhm,
that in her. And
mhm.
she's not taking any foolishness from anybody either at the hospital.
Yeah, we need more of those type of characters on TV so that we can have someone to look up to, someone to emulate our lives after, because sometimes we don't have, the representation that we need in order for us to get to how it is that we need to be, especially when it comes to running our business, running our households, doing all of that. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I like that you speak to that, Push. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And that was a perfect segue. Now that Black History Month is over, we're moving into Women's History Month. And with you being a history maker yourself, share with us, if you will, some of those women history makers that have inspired you along your journey.
Wow, along my journey, well, Agatha Armstead, who was born in 1902, my primary foster mother, who was a pianist, who was a gardener, who was a seamstress, who could speak Latin, who was a mother of 10 children herself, her family coming up from the Carolinas. There was so many things, homeowner, homemaker, and then
Wow.
to be raised by her. And she taught me my first ballet steps from a book. So this was a Renaissance woman who you could not say no to. She also welded ships during World War II. This was a phenomenal woman who I was gifted with. God put her in my life. But she also taught that you don't do it alone. And if you get to a space, then pull others with you. And so that's always been a part of it. In terms of historical, and there's so many other women that I could mention. My dear, my childhood friends
Mhm.
make such a difference. Those long-term girlfriends,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
let me tell you, those are 10 toes down friends.
Yes.
So that would be like Patty Knight, and that would be Robin Silverman,
I love
and that would be Jackie Legister. And
it.
those are, Terry Hines. I mean, I can just name, like, you got five, you're doing good.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
I
here we
love
go.
that. I love that.
Historical figures.
Mhm.
You know, God, there's many, many people that I absolutely look up to. Miss Bethune-Cookman,
Of course.
um, Dorothy Height.
Hmm.
I want to speak to Janet Collins, our first African-American prima ballerina.
Yes.
Misty Copeland.
Of course. I saw that you
Uh,
worked with her as well. Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Barbara Jordan. I could go
Oh,
on and on,
yeah.
but there are a number of women who have really shaped me, whether I knew them or not, that I said, it's possible.
I love that.
It's
Yeah.
possible.
Mhm. Mhm.
So many. I mean, Marian Anderson and,
Yeah.
Leontine Price. I mean, I listened to Jesse Norman.
Yes.
I listen to Dionne Moore. I
Yes.
listen
Yeah.
to Shirley Horn, because Shirley Horn, that's poetry and song. So
Mhm.
I'm just inspired by
Mhm.
whether I met women or not. They shape me.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for sharing that list. It was beautiful, definitely beautiful. And like you said, we could go on and on and on, but that list right there was special. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now,
Sure.
in that same vein, women also have what I call hidden talents that sometimes show up in the form of superpowers. Now, if you had a superpower as a Black woman, as a strong Black woman, what would your superpower be?
My superpower would be that I could speak any language so
Mm,
that I could communicate
mm,
anywhere. So
mm.
if I had that superpower, it would just be this universal language that translated to anywhere in the world. I love people. I love cultures and anthropology. And when you think that I'm always going to museums, like I was at another museum yesterday, the Bata Shoe Museum here in Toronto. where I'm filming.
Mhm.
And it had shoes from all over the world. And, the first peoples who live up in Greenland, and like, what are they speaking? I want to talk to them. These fabulous boots and clothes that they created out of deer skin and seal skin. And I mean, fabulous.
Okay.
But you want to communicate with people. And what I've been able to do is, some people like, red bottom shoes, Louis Vuitton, right? Some people like a fancy bag,
Mhm.
but my fancy bag and shoes is travel.
I love
I
it.
invest in travel.
Mhm.
And I may not speak the language, but that would be my superpower, that I could like speak every language.
And travel to all those different places.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. I also like to ask successful people such as yourself how they define success. So if you will, share with us, how do you define success?
I define success by not limiting myself. I define success by remaining fluid, allowing opportunities to present themselves. And if you don't allow yourself to be open and malleable like a reed, then you'll block your blessing. So it's so important to stay open, to be patient, to be patient. And I want to remind people that waiting is an action. And if you wait for the right thing, that doesn't mean you're stagnant because you're doing other things. But if you wait, that person, that job, that opportunity will present itself. I do that coupled, of course, with prayer, meditation, keeping myself ready. That means fit from head to toe, not just from the neck down, but your head has to be right. And so that's my definition of being successful and a recipe for success.
I love it. Now, you've done so much for our culture already. What keeps you going and striving on to the next thing?
People like you, Portia.
Okay.
Seeing young people doing it, seeing it manifest itself.
Yeah.
And when I see you, I see an entrepreneurial person, younger than myself, who gives me pride and joy. You see what I'm saying? So energy begets energy. It all matters. And to stay in the race, I always try to emphasize to be a long distance runner, not a sprinter. Be a long distance runner. You're not going to get everything you want all at once. You're going to have ebbs and flows and peaks and valleys, but you've got to stay in it and help somebody else. Like, let's say it's not going for you. Yeah. Help somebody else, because that's going to not only help somebody else, and you get out of your head about what you just have to do. Well, it's not your time. So just help somebody else over there. Yeah. You will learn something from that experience by helping someone else in that process. So no, looking at your success inspires me.
I love that. You got me over here tearing up. And you've given me so much confirmation today, just in the short time that we've chatted. So I definitely appreciate that. I'm getting the chills and the goosebumps all over. But last question, who would you have play you in your life story? So we've seen these documentaries come out, and, some are good and some are better, but who would you like to see play yourself in your own documentary, your life story?
Tessa Thompson. Yes. Tessa Thompson. I want her to portray me in the movie The Women Who Raised Me, based on my New York Times bestseller. And there is a script, and I hope that, I would be blessed to have her portray me, but she's my first choice.
Speaking it into existence. Thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by Rolling Out Star Studio. It's been a pleasure. You've blessed me today. I'm sure you're going to bless a whole bunch of other people as well. We're going to share your story. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good Sam, Wednesday nights at 10. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Victoria Rowell.
Will do. Will do.
Take
Now,
care.
I got to get